Christians are under serious attacks on our religious freedoms, just by what you cover, what you see.
Yes, you're absolutely right. You know, I'm kind of an amateur historian in the sense that I'm very interested in history. And if you study history, of course, Christians have always been under attack all the way back to the Roman Empire. Interesting that Christianity replaced the Roman Empire, the embattled early church, and of course all through the Middle Ages, and things were so bad in Europe that a lot of our ancestors actually came here for religious freedom, which was enshrined in our Constitution and Bill of Rights. And Christians have had it so good for so long.
Okay, so first he said Christians have always been attacked, and now he's saying that in America Christians have had it good for a very long time, having religious freedom. So he just pretty much disproved his own self, saying that Christians are always under attack, which they are not, especially in the United States. And in a good part of the world, Christianity is embraced. In the United States, all the U.S. presidents have been Christian. You got churches galore everywhere. Christians like to pretend they're under attack, so that they can then play the victim and act like their rights are being taken away because LGBTQ people can marry, or because people are having abortions, that somehow takes away from their rights.
It was just a given that we had religious freedom that we're like shocking to see. But it's because of the different worldview. We believe in God. We believe in the Bible. The Bible tells us how to live. There's other people that, I believe it's spiritual warfare. They're motivated by the father of all lies, and they don't see it that way at all, and they resent Christians trying to tell them how to live.
Wow. Okay, that's why Christians are under attack? Because people don't like being told how to live their life based on somebody else's religious views? That is fucking hilarious. Yeah, people don't want Christians to try to control their lives because they're not Christian.
That you telling them that they can't have an abortion, or that you can't gamble, or whatever the issue is, and they want to get us off the scene. They want to undermine us. They want to intimidate us. They want us to just stay in the four walls of our church, and in there we can shout and raise our hands and whatever we want to do. But it doesn't.
Yeah, that's where religious people should be, in their own place of worship, wherever they want to be, screaming at their own selves about how the way of the world should be. A person like this wants a type of theocracy so that they can control every person's every waking life based on the Bible. This is why people like him should not have any position of power, because they're going to use their religion to dictate their decisions.
It doesn't affect anything as far as they're concerned, and they want to intimidate us. This whole thing about shutting down churches, and then there's horrible hypocrisy, and the hypocrisy is that the same governors that were saying you couldn't have more than 10 people in a church because it was unsafe are refusing to stop the looting. In fact, a friend of mine tweeted, he's got a good sense of humor, or at least I think it's a good sense of humor. He tweeted, "Hey, because of COVID-19, no more than 25 looters in a store at any time."
Wow. So all the people protesting police abuses and systematic racism are just looters. That's him calling black people criminals. It's just another dog whistle phrase that right-wing Christians like to use. But what is funny is, even since the start of the protest, there hasn't been any increase of COVID cases because of the protesters. But if you look at when the state started reopening and people started gathering again inside buildings, you see an increase of cases because it's easier for COVID to spread when you're inside a building packed together with people compared to being outside, especially if you're not wearing a mask inside and you're wearing masks outside. Because if you watch videos of the protests and stuff, majority of the people protesting are wearing masks.
I mean,
Yeah.
somehow having thousands of people that are not social distancing in all kinds of protests are fine, but going to church isn't. Or having the grocery stores and hardware stores open. Yeah, we need those things, of course, but there's no constitutional right for Home Depot to be open. There is a constitutional right for the church to be open. And, people need medical assistance and all that kind of stuff, but we need spiritual help. Depression and anxiety are through the roof.
You can still have video sermons and stuff. There's nothing stopping churches from doing that. It would be safer too. Like in Tennessee, in my city, there's been an outbreak of COVID cases within the Church of God congregations because they were having in-person services, and it went from one person being infected to up to like 36 people now within a span of a week. So don't do that.
We need to be able to be with our Christian brothers and sisters. I'm just very, very concerned about it, and it goes right at hand. It shows a trend. There's a trend with a lot of people in the government who have power that are exerting their power to be against Christians, against religious freedom, and it's one more reason why we have no choice but to put Donald Trump back into office, and that's the point of both of my books. In fact, I consider that God, Trump, and COVID-19 is really part B of election, which is part A. The two books go together. One does not replace, and it was my way to try to so frankly, the media has been a lot more interested in talking about COVID-19 in relationship to the election and so forth. And the Lord has opened up for me a lot of doors, including 1 week from today, I sat in front of the same computer monitor and Skyped over to the BBC in London. They wanted to know what Christians were thinking of this unrest, and people can go online or go to my blog and see it. They said it'd be 3 minutes. It was actually 6 minutes. So being on the Jim Baker show is great because we have more time. But I was telling them from a Christian point of view that none of us approve of what happened in Minneapolis. Nobody. I said, there's no sane American. We are not divided at all. But then I talk about what's happening. And
there are Christians that feel that what happened is okay. So you can't say all Christians, and nor can you say all Americans, because you got a large number of Americans that find what happened to be okay. So you can only talk for yourself, pretty much.
Even my book on how I'm trying to deal with it from a spiritual point of view. And I ended by saying, millions of Christians are praying, and we're praying for a mighty outpouring of the Holy Spirit. It's the only thing that's going to fix things in America. And the announcer was very nice to me, although he kept pushing. But he said, we'll leave it there. Interesting that on live TV, the Lord gave me an open door to talk about an outpouring of the Holy Spirit. That's really what's needed. I believe that 100%. That's just not rhetoric as far as I'm concerned.
I find it funny, though, how Christians, like against systemic racism stuff, fail to remember that their Bible was used to support slavery and racism in the United States. That's why a lot of black people are Christian, is because their ancestors were forced to become Christians to make them better and more obedient slaves, as the passage telling slaves to obey their masters was frequently told to them. And now you got Christians like him that act like people need God in order to end this systemic racism, when it was religious people that used the Bible to help enslave people, and the Bible itself condones slavery. So no, we don't need religion in order to free ourselves from systemic racism. We need more educated people, and people that will say, no, we will not allow our fellow citizens to be treated this way by the system.
And that's what comes out in my books. In fact, I talk about the spiritual dimension. I talk about how even a lot of leaders, Christian leaders, are talking about a mighty revival, and that's actually how it came up in that BBC